Hello plant people, Nora the Lekker Queen here. In today's video, I'm asking the question, is it time to revamp your philodendron plant? Just like us, our plant friends sometimes need a little bit of extra care to continue thriving. This is my philodendron lickety split. It has recently been reclassified and is now called the Thaumatophyllum bipinnatifidum. My gosh, I probably got that wrong, but we'll stick with Thaumatophyllum. I'll take you through the telltale signs that my plant is crying out for help, and then I'll demonstrate a swift yet gentle repotting of my plant. And yes, I know that this plant is not called a philodendron anymore, but a Thaumatophyllum. But the title of this video is it time to revamp your philodendron? That title is so much easier to say than is it time to revamp your Thaumatophyllum? So we're going to go with philodendron in this video. So whether it's a Thaumatophyllum or a philodendron, the principles of understanding that your plant is crying out for help remain the same. So let's do this thing. Let's set the stage by understanding what a happy philodendron looks like. These tropical beauties are like the free spirits of the plant world. Picture a philodendron in its natural habitat, sprawling freely. Creating a happy, thriving plant is our goal here. But how do you know when it's time for a change or some rehab? Let's explore these signs. The first sign is stunted growth. It's like watching a talented dancer confined to a small stage. They can't perform their best moves. If your philodendron has stopped growing, it's not just being lazy. It's probably constrained and might not have enough room to grow. Plants grow through cell division and expansion. When roots are restricted, they can't absorb enough nutrients, leading to stunted growth. It's a silent cry for help, just like that dancer would be saying, I need more room to dance. Roots also need air to function properly. In a tightly packed root-bound pot, there's less space for air, which can lead to poor root health and consequently poor plant health. As the roots become more crowded, they can start to strangle each other, causing physical stress to the plant. This stress can manifest in various ways, such as yellowing leaves, wilting, or a general decline in plant vigor. If you're finding value from this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Now let's talk more about the plant roots. Imagine wearing a pair of jeans that you've outgrown. Very uncomfortable, right? That's how your philodendron feels when its roots have filled the pot and are spilling out of the pot and circling the pot, constricted and cramped. As the roots overtake the pot, there's less soil available, which means fewer nutrients for the plants. Over time, the soil becomes depleted and the roots struggle to find the nutrients they need to support the plant's growth. This cramping of the roots limits nutrient uptake and can lead to a whole host of problems like poor growth and even plant diseases. It's a sign that your plant's living conditions need an upgrade. Moving on to our third clue, an unusually thirsty plant. If you're watering your plant more frequently than you charge your phone, it's a red flag. Your philodendron is likely crying out for a larger living space. But why does this happen? A root-bound pot has more roots than soil, which affects the soil's ability to retain water. Water may run straight through the pot without being adequately absorbed, leading to dehydration of the plant despite regular watering. If you're finding value from this video, please give it a like and subscribe. Lastly, if your philodendron looks like it's trying to crawl out of its pot, it's not plotting an escape. It's an SOS. When plants grow over the edge or push against the pot, it's their way of searching for more room. It's like a bird trying to spread its wings but finding the cage too small. It's nature's way of signaling that it's time for a bigger home. So when you see these signs, it's not just about making the plant look nicer. It's about understanding the language of your plant and responding to its needs. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for, repotting my plant. All right, before we get started, I'm going to show you what my plant looks like and how absolutely insanely pot-bound it is at the moment. You can see all those roots that are actually coming out of that pot. It is absolutely insane. Look at that. Look at those roots. And I've got a lot of area roots on that plant as well. It is just huge. Hang on, there we go. Look at these area roots that are just coming down coming out of that plant. This plant is completely out of control and needs a repot. So because of all the roots that are coming out of that pot, this pot is actually it's not stable. Look at that. I've got that space. There's a little space between the pot and any flat surface because of all those roots. So that's another thing that's happening with my plant. My plant keeps toppling over because I can't keep it stable. It doesn't help that there's all these leaves that are just going everywhere. And so it really, really needs a repot. My plant is living in leca clay balls, and that really helps my plant grow well. And I've got all these roots growing really, really well because that leca is providing a lot of aeration for my roots. My plant is also getting a lot of water and nutrition whenever it needs it because it's got a reservoir that it sits in. So growing my plant in leca clay balls is a fantastic way to get that growth really, really top notch. So I do have a lot of leca that I'm going to be using for my repot, but if you're using potting mix or soil, you would have some fresh potting mix or soil. I also have a massive, I think that's 30 centimeters. I'm not even sure how big that is. My plant at the moment is living in a tiny 20 centimeter pot, which is really tiny for this pot. So I'm giving it an upgrade, and I am going either 30 or 40 centimeters, which works really well when you're growing your plant in semi-hydroponics. You can actually go a pot lots bigger sizes up than you normally would when you're growing your plant in soil. When you're growing your plant in soil or potting mix, the advice is to increase the size of your pot 1 or 2 sizes up. So for example, if you're growing your plant in a 20 centimeter pot, you probably want to go maybe to a 22 or a 25 centimeters, not anything bigger than that, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to have a lot of potting mix or soil in your pot, and that'll mean that that potting mix stays moist a lot longer and your plant is going to be a lot more prone to root rot. But if you're growing your plants in semi-hydroponics or in leca or pond, you do have quite a lot of bit of leeway with the size of your pot. So I'm trying to almost future-proof the growth of my plant. When I put it in here, I will not have to repot it for the next maybe 2 or 3 years or something, which will work really, really well. And you can see I keep holding on to this plant right now. I'm a bit limited in what I can do because if I let go, it's going to topple over. The next phase is we're going to take this plant out of this pot. Now that is not going to be pretty, largely because of the leca. I'm going to have leca flying all over the place. I'm hoping that my potting tarp, which has like little sides there, will keep that leca contained, but I don't know. But yeah, let's give this a bash and see how we go, because I'm also trying to not damage my roots in the process. So just, you can see how root bound that, oh my goodness. That. Look, I might, actually, the roots are coming out of a section of the pot that doesn't even have a hole. The pot actually split and the roots are coming out of that split area there. So, we might have to lose some roots in this process. I'd rather lose roots than leaves, to be honest, because roots grow. There we go. Oh man. I don't think I'll be using this pot for anything at this point because it's broken anyway. So I'm just gonna try and see, that's what I've lost there. I think that's not bad. That is not bad. I haven't lost too many. That's what I've lost. And of course, I've lost the pot. But that's okay. That is okay. Now, let us look at this plant. Wow. See, remember when I talked about circling? So you've got all these roots that have pretty much nowhere. Oh my gosh. That is, look at that. It's so firm. I can't tell you. Oh my gosh. That is absolutely insane. Those roots are crying out for help. Wow. I literally can't do anything with this. I can't do anything with those roots. I'm not even going to try. There's no need to, take the leca off and separate them. The roots will know what to do when I give it a bigger pot. But wow, how insane is this? All right, so I got a tray here because I am going to need it. And then I got my pot. I'm going to put some leca in this pot. Ugh. And see, that's leca that's falling on my tray. That's why I needed the tray, because the holes in that are quite large. And I'll grab my plant and put it in there. Actually, I probably want that a little bit lower. So I'm going to take some of this leca out. All right. That is good. I want that plant to sit quite deep in that pot. And all I'll do now is put more leca in that pot and get it all the way up to the top. My plant is now repotted. I have a ton of leca in this pot. It is not as heavy as I thought. And she is now probably feeling so good. Those roots can stretch out and this plant is really just going to thrive now. It's the growing season here in Australia and I'm pretty sure there will be lots and lots of new leaves. The next thing I need to do for this plant is try and tame her. Look at that dysfunction that is those leaves. Oh, they are just completely insane. I've got a very short metal rod. There's one there. I'll put one there and I just sort of squish it, push it down right to the bottom. And I've got some Velcro plant tie and I get some of the bigger leaves and just sort of try and control it that way. I'm sure there's a better way of doing this. If you guys know what it is, just please let me know in the comments below because I don't have anywhere to put this plant in my home right now. Every time I put it somewhere, it gets in someone's way. And my family is starting to get pretty annoyed about the whole situation. So, I don't know if this is going to help. This one. Oh, goodness me. I don't know. I'm just going to have to figure out how to tie this plant and get it out of the way. There we go. But seriously though, 65% of you guys are not subscribed to my channel. People who are watching my content, finding some value or finding some little bit interesting, please consider subscribing to my channel. It helps my channel grow and it helps me keep bringing more of the content that you love. So now that I've got my plant all potted up in its new home, I need to create a reservoir for it because of course I'm growing my plant in leca. It needs a nutrient solution reservoir. So this is a saucer. It's a clear saucer. I wish I could have found something better, but I couldn't because this pot is so big. So this is what I'm going with for now until I can find an alternative. I will put my plant there. And that's what I'm going to put my nutrient solution in. So I've got my nutrient solution in here and I just fill that reservoir. There we go. And my plant has now got everything that it needs. It's got some new leca. It's in a new pot with lots of more space. It's got its nutrient solution in there. I'm going to put it on a bright, warm spot and watch it grow. And there we have it, folks. A happy, rehabilitated plant ready to thrive in its new home. Remember, plant care is a journey, not a destination. It's about observing, understanding, and responding to the needs of these amazing living plants. Stay tuned for more plant rehabilitations. Watch this next video as I lovingly restore my Calathea orbifolia back to health, turning its struggles into a thriving success story. I'll see you there.